It's getting harder and harder to review iPhones and really make an argument one way or the other to keep or get the new one compared to the old one. Even though this iPhone, the new iPhone 13 Pro Max is the best iPhone that's ever been made.
The best iPhones we've ever created.
Best iPhones we've ever.
It is a great phone. At the same time, so is the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And at what point do you need to go from here to here for it to make any sense? Let's have that discussion here on Keep It or Return It, iPhone 13 Pro Max. Reviewing the iPhone is kind of like a tale of two reviews. On one hand, you want to review the iPhone in a bubble, what it is, this particular iPhone, and not really think about what other iPhones are. And you want to talk about all the good things and bad things that go on with this. But there's it's impossible to review an iPhone these days without discussing the fact that there are all these other iPhones out there. So when thinking about the Keep It or Return It deal with the iPhone 12, 13, it's not as simple as it might be for some other phones to have that discussion. So there are a lot of good things on this iPhone. The iPhone 13 Pro Max on the left, my left, iPhone 12 Pro Max on the right. Cameras improved. Macro lens capability, which is something that I'm using more often than I ever really thought I would. I guess I've been wanting to take macro photos for a long time and just haven't been able to do it with the iPhone, but I do like the macro. And then, of course, we have cinematic mode, which does rack focus and all that kind of thing in video. And the camera, very impressive. The build, of course, always impressive, although a little... It's hard to keep these things clean. I'll just put this way. But if you notice, this one, pretty much the same thing. Now, if the keen-eyed among you will notice maybe that this is bigger than this, and the lenses themselves are a little bit bigger. Just enough so that if I wanted to put this case on this, I couldn't do it. But I could put this case on this, I'm guessing, because it's smaller. Let me see. Yeah, see? Fits right on. But if I try and put the iPhone 12 Pro Max case on the 13, then we see, oh, yeah, see? Doesn't work. The thingy's just a little bit too big. So Apple always gets you your extra like 50 or 60 bucks out of you. There are the pluses, right? There are the pluses. We've talked about the camera. The screen, now 120 hertz Pro Motion. The Pro Motion means that it can ramp up its refresh rate from 10 to 120 hertz, depending on what's happening on the screen. I've said a bunch of times, and that 120 hertz screen refresh rate doesn't make a huge difference to me. Now, I've come to understand why it kind of does. See, now, if you notice, this is the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which doesn't have 120 hertz. And this is the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which does. And so, we just, the text over here does not remain viewable, readable, while the text over here does. It might not be as easy to see on the camera as it is for me to see right here, but that is the big deal. When I look at these two phones, I mean, the 120 hertz is great. If you're a gamer, you're going to love 120 hertz. It does make the phone feel snappier. It does make things easier to... It's a nice feature, however, not a make or break feature for me whatsoever. The three things that are really different about the iPhone 13 series compared to the iPhone 12 series is that 120 hertz screen, and that's only for the Pro models, not for the iPhone 13 or the iPhone 13 mini. The Pro models get the 120 hertz screen. That, the camera stuff that I mentioned, which the camera stuff is really impressive, okay? The camera stuff is really great. And if you are a camera person, like if you do a lot of video, if you're very serious about it, if you do a lot of, like close-up macro shots, if you want to overall just better cameras than what you had on your previous iPhone, then this is a phone that you should buy, okay? The reason that most people should buy the iPhone 13 is the battery. That's the thing that's going to affect the most people the most. This phone here has 2.5 hours more battery capacity than this phone does. And that's a big deal. The iPhone 12 Pro Max was a battery champion, still is a battery champion. It gets me through a day and a half easy. I never have to worry. I can put it on a charger basically whenever I want to, and it's good to go. The iPhone 13 Pro Max, however, has an extra 2.5 hours of battery life available. When I use this phone, it's at 50% like the middle of the next day. It's absolutely ridiculous how long the battery lasts on this thing. And it seems like we're finally getting to the place where battery life is not going to be a concern at all in terms of like from day to day. I have here my Galaxy Z Fold 3, which has okay battery life, and it gets me mostly through a day. But by the end of the day, I'm getting down to the 20, the 30% place where I just don't like to get below that, because that last 20% always seems to go really fast. At the end of the day, I'm watching me a lot of YouTube. I'm doing a lot of other stuff, and I get down to that 20 or 30% mark. I don't think I've ever seen the iPhone 13 Pro Max anywhere near 20%. It's really quite impressive. And so if battery is something that's important to you, then iPhone 13 Pro Max, definitely something that you should check out. But ultimately, the blessing and the curse of reviewing iPhones, and in one of my videos that I made a while back about sort of why the iPhone experience is better than the Android experience, has a lot to do with the overall ecosystem that the iPhone sort of is the central hub of. And so with the iPhone being the central hub of HomeKit and, iMessage, as well as like being able to be the remote control for your Apple TV, just all the things that the iPhone is sort of central to. If you have a Mac, if you have an Apple TV, if you have an Apple Watch, if you have any of the many, many peripherals that Apple offers, this thing makes having those things a better experience. And while that's true, none of those things are exclusive to the iPhone 13 Pro Max. The features that I mentioned before, the 120 hertz display, the new camera stuff, the new expanded battery capacity, those are what's exclusive to this phone. It is a beautiful phone. It is nearly perfect. It is nearly perfect, but I'm not going to keep it. I'm going to keep this one. This one, the iPhone 12 Pro Max, can update to iOS 15, has been on iOS 15 for quite some time, and I can do everything that I can do with this one, and I already own this one. Will I have another iPhone 13 Pro Max at some point before the next one comes out? Yeah, because obviously this is what I do for a living. I'll want to compare the 13 Pro Max to the 14 or whatever it is that they call it. For me, when you're talking about $1,300 for this versus this that I already own, and then this phone, which is honestly like a heck of a lot more exciting and interesting, although this case is freaking stupid. This phone is a heck of a lot more interesting and exciting than this phone. That's not necessarily here nor there. One of the reasons that people love iPhones, one of the reasons that I love iPhones, is that they just work the way that you expect them to work. There's no new bells and whistles. There's no experimentation. There's no anything. It just does the iPhone thing. You don't have to have the newest iPhone in order to do that. Now, if you are out there watching this video and you're saying, well, my iPhone is on its last legs, or I love to get the most recent iPhone, I like the shiny newness of it and all that kind of thing, or I need it for the camera, or I really want the 120 hertz, or I really need the extra battery, there's no problem. I don't have any problem with that. That's why it's here. Once the new car smell wears off of the brand new iPhone, the iPhone 13 Pro Max in this case, iOS is what really matters. And if this phone runs iOS 15 and this phone runs iOS 15 and they're basically the same phone, then there's not really a whole lot of argument to keeping this one. Is there? Just look at them. They're not different enough to really say you have to have this one. Now, your mileage may vary. You'll let me know down in the comments, but iOS is what is the real experience with an iPhone. And so if you have an iPhone that runs the most recent version of iOS and can talk to all of your other stuff, whether you have this one or whether you have this one doesn't make a whole lot of difference. Maybe you disagree. Let me know down in the comments. The Galaxy Z Fold 3 is just a more interesting phone to me right now, and I want to spend more time with it. I know that the comfort and ease of using the iPhone will always be there. The blessing and the curse of the iPhone is that each new year they refine it just a little bit more. They give you a little bit more goodness each year.
The best iPhones we've ever created.
Best iPhones we've ever.
Is it enough from year to year to make it worth jumping from the older phone to the newer phone? That is ultimately a personal choice that everyone will have to make, and I can't make it for you. But I, for the time being, am going to sell this phone and then move on the Z Fold 3. Maybe I'll grab the Pixel 6 and check that out. Meanwhile, I'll have all the iPhone that I need right here with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I mean, if you can get iOS 15 on anything going all the way back to the iPhone 6S, I believe. Yeah, the iPhone 6S still updates to iOS 15. If you can get iOS 15 all the way back to that, then is there a rationale for needing to have this most newest device? Let me know down in the comments. We'll have a discussion. Anyway, keep it, return it. iPhone 13 Pro Max, I'm selling it. I'm not returning it. The return windows are already closed. You know what I mean. Anyway, thanks so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. If this was your first time here, please come on back again. You know, if you're a new person, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Come on back. Listen to me talk about iPhones and Android phones and audio-related stuff and all that kind of good thing. And become a member of the Wizard Squad. The Wizard Squad, as it were. The Painfully Honest community. Thanks so much for being here. My name's Jason. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time, I am out.